Roy the boy is back in action just in time for the row rut. The Dr. Doolittle of field sports has all the bells and whistles to attract a randy buck. It's been hot today, but not as muggy as he'd perhaps like it. Regardless, like a phoenix emerging from the flames, he is happy to be back in action.
We have finally come to the end of the breeding season. I should clarify, that's the bird breeding season. And if it was my breeding season, I would have come out of it a lot thinner. But we are now back into it, so we're going out for the first time. I haven't picked up a rifle to go stalking at all in the last few months, and it's so nice just being out. We've got a lovely evening. It's about 25 degrees, a little bit warm. And I'm hoping over in the next week or two, if the rut is on, we might pick up a buck here, and then we're going to be travelling up to Hampshire as well, and seeing how the bucks are getting on up there as well. So fingers crossed, we should have an exciting couple of weeks.
Within moments, the animal magnet has spotted a couple of foxes, playing and hunting. Decisions, fox or food, fox or food.
Dilemmas. That is the shame with foxes. They are absolutely wonderful creatures. It's just when they do become slightly overpopulated because of our bad habits and the techniques that we use on land management and refuse management, you do have to try and keep on top of them. But watching them play like this, it's very hard to want to squeeze the trigger. So it's obviously just caught a vole. I say a vole, it could be any rodent, I'm not sure. But it looks like a vole through the binos, and it's just throwing it up in the air and catching it again, just playing with it. They're obviously quite well fed because the other cub's not overly concerned. He's not hungry. After playing with his food, he's decided to start eating it. What we're going to do is just crawl forward to the brow of this hill and just lie down, and we'll have a few peeps with the Batello and just see if we get anything coming in deer-wise. But it would just be quite interesting to see what reaction we get from those cubs with the Batello as well. I've never called a fox in yet with one, but you never know.
On with the job. The last heat of the day may be keeping the deer lying low. Foreplay can be exhausting, apparently. Anyway, we may fare better when the sun drops below the trees. We keep trying, but keep blanking. Doubting David suspects that the Lupton might have lost his mojo, but how dare he?
The light is disappearing quite quickly on us. And we've got one last bit to try, and then we'll try the other bits on the way back again. But we've got a strip of woodland here that borders a road. Now, we're not going to be able to shoot directly at a buck if it comes out. What we're going to have to do is hope that it comes out, then comes round us, then comes into this bit of ground here, so we've got a safe backstop. So, we shall start squeaking, and even if we can't shoot one, it'll be nice just to see one playing.
Rising from our last calling spot deep in the wheat crop, Roy spots a buck on the lookout. He's come from the other side, which we'd already been to, and was in a dip out of sight.
First deer of the rut. Hopefully it won't be the last. He was just curious enough just to stand there long enough for us to stand up. He'd already made something that wasn't quite right, so he didn't want to come in anymore. There we go. Perfect little young buck. Absolutely stunning, aren't they? Doesn't matter how many you shoot, they really are just absolutely beautiful. And there's still something very special about when you're out in the rut and all of a sudden one emerges like magic from nowhere. It really is superb. Thank you very much, old man. We shall put you to good use. So the freezer has been a little bit bare because obviously we haven't been out stalking at all, so he will be very much appreciated. That was quite fortunate.
With the deer cleaned, we're off back to the truck, but on the way we'll pass where we first saw the foxes.
Here we go, here we go. See it? You want it? Always nice to finish off with a fox in the evening. Oh, I don't know if that was one of the ones that we saw playing earlier, but it definitely wanted to play. So not only have we got some meat from the freezer, we've also done a bit of conservation work.
Eventually we find him in the grass. It's incredible how they can just disappear.
Oh my goodness, that's very interesting. I thought it was, I thought when we walked up to it, it was the vixen, but it's not. It's actually a dog fox from last year, and this is the fox that was playing with that cub. So what we've got here is actually the mature dog fox that was playing with the cub. He's quite a small dog, and I wouldn't have said that this was necessarily the cub's father, but this is obviously a cub from last season that has hung around and has been playing with the cubs and stuff. That was very interesting. When we walked over and I saw that it was molting out, I naturally presumed it was going to be the vixen, but it's not. So, yeah, very, very interesting.
That ends a great night's sport, and the postman has resumed his quality service.